Hello.
Hi, we are here.
We are here. We
Yeah.
are in two different here.
Yes, it is.
But just one now.
What?
Just one now.
There's one?
One now, two heres.
Oh. Or
And
maybe
it's deep. It's deep. You might not get it.
now, one here, one there. I don't know. But yes, the gracious badger is all the way in Australia where they do not have badgers. Therefore, today Rose shall be the gracious wombat.
The greatest wombat. Hello, Marnie from Michigan. Marty, can you see that?
I see.
Hello, Linda.
Hey, but I don't
see Linda.
Oh,
Here's Marnie.
Yay, from Michigan.
Hi, guys. Hi, Elle.
We are so fancy. Hi, Elle. Oh, look at their beautiful faces. Oh,
They all here.
Makes my heart feel like feeling. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Lucy. Oh, Heather from California, it is you. And happy St. Patrick's Day for those of you who are still having one of those.
And California is out of drought for the first time since forever. Yay. Idaho. Natalie from Idaho. Mwah.
Geordie, Melbourne buddy. Hi.
Now we got two people in Melbourne at the gathering. We got the gracious wombat. Now we got me. Are you still there?
So many Aussies on here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, am I?
Right. Those little Mullumbimby Hills. Ooh, I love those Australian words. Unless Mullumbimby is Mullumbimby just somebody's personal name for their house or something?
Mullumbimby, no, it's a place. Well, we have 143 people. We are good to go if you are, Martha.
Woo! Okay, so Wombat and I. So thank you guys for coming to the gathering room again and for dealing with all the wonders of technology. We're so spread out now. It feels even more so now with me, for me with Ro over there in Melbourne. And speaking of Down Under, I did want to just start out by pausing for a moment to offer love to the families, especially of the people who were killed in the massacre in New Zealand yesterday. And, you know, we've all been thinking, you know, I've been thinking about it anyway. And it really, you know, what they were doing in that mosque was a gathering room. They were just gathering to seek the divine, and horrible beyond belief. And at the same time, it's interesting because you can't stop people from gathering in this way. Even if you kill them for gathering in this way, it's almost like there's a light side, dark side of fanaticism, because you can't really kill a terrorist organization because it exists all over the place and individuals get activated, and then the little pockets of, what do they call it? What do they call it? Radicalization pop up. Well, there's a light side to everything. And as we gather to become more radically compassionate and more radically accepting and more radically inclusive and more radically reverent toward everyone's march toward the search for soul, the search for spirit, the search for God, you know, by continuing to gather, we say that we're not giving up and that we will live on for those spirits, not just the ones that departed, but the ones still here. We're gathering with them today too. And I know that all of you feel tremendous love and sorrow for those people as I do, as we all do. So I just wanted to take a second for us all to send love to the families and loved ones. Okay. So with that solemn beginning, but in the end, you know, we're all terminal on this bus, and I think we get off the bus in a much more interesting state of being, and that the great drama of this material world playing out will be much less tragic for us than it is now. And as my son Adam said, once the light comes and opens your heart, nothing is so sad. So what I've been thinking about this week, and we've gotten a couple of questions about it, is life's mission. I know that those of us who are gathering here, most of us feel a very strong sense of mission, but we don't always know what our missions are. I started really ruminating about my mission like early in my life when I was 3, 4 years old. I had an overwhelming sense of mission, but did not know what it was. By the time I'd gotten to my early 20s, it was driving me mentally insane. Like the pressure to start a mission, to fulfill a mission was so strong in me, and I had no clue what I was supposed to do with it. I mean, I was getting a doctorate and I hoped to sort of help the world as a social scientist, whatever, but I really didn't know. And I still don't. I think maybe there are a large number of people who are on Earth at the same time who are interested in preserving life on the planet as we know it, and also maybe experiencing individual and collective enlightenment or awakening, going to a higher level of compassion and realization and understanding. So all these things have given sort of a shape to my intense desire to fulfill my life's mission. But this week, I've been, well, for the last several weeks, I've had this overwhelming obsession with painting. I feel like I'm coming out. I feel like I'm coming out of the closet again, because the compulsion to paint is so strong for me sometimes. And this has been a real humdinger. Like it's pretty bad or good. I don't know. So I decided I was going to make this the subject of my meditation. Why am I obsessed with painting? Because here's the thing. It doesn't go out to any people. It's not like I'm talking to you right now and affecting other lives. It's not like I'm writing a book. It's not that I'm even like keeping the house clean. Quite the contrary. But there's this strong compulsion to do it. So I didn't understand myself. And it's great to take something you don't understand in yourself and sit down for a solid hour or more and just be still and try to feel into the truth of it. I didn't know if I'd find out that it was an addiction, a negative compulsion, or what. So I sat down, and for the first several minutes, what I felt was something that is called the rage to master. I can't remember who came up with that phrase. Do you, Ro?
No, I don't remember, but I'll find out.
Good going. The rage to master is this desperate need that pushes people to get good at something like skiing or music, or in my case, art. And I just felt it like a physical sensation in my jaw, in my chest. Like it's like it's going to blow my head off sometimes. And it's been there since I was little. I started drawing when I was 1 and just never really stopped until I lost the use of my hands when I was a grown up. And then now I have my hands back. So there's nothing to stop the compulsion. So I sat there with the rage to master, and I felt my way in. I felt my way in. I felt my way in. And what I finally got to was this connection to what felt like the small human me connecting with consciousness that creates the universe. And I was seeing things in my head like big bangs and black holes and stuff. It was quite a psychedelic experience, I have to tell you. It was very visual. And I got this feeling of, oh, I talk about this all the time. We are all one consciousness, and that consciousness has made the universes, the multiverse. And so we can each properly say, I am the universe, and I am the force that creates the universe ex nihilo, out of nothing, every moment. And it was this feeling of the little human me looking at this creation and just desperate to hold on to it, which was an attachment. I know I used to just panic as a kid. I'd see something beautiful and I had to draw it. I remember trying desperately to draw the sparkles on snow, which, you know, the prisms that make all the sparkles on the snow different colors. How do you do that when you're 4 and you've got a box of crayons? But it was just, I have to hold on to it. So I peeled into that attachment, which I knew to be connected to time. So I let go of my belief in time. We talked about this last week. And I got into the eternal present, and suddenly it was just like this thing going, look what I made. Look what I made. Look what I made. All these landscapes I've been painting. And then it became, look what I am. Look what I am. Look what I am. And I realized that everything I've ever painted has been me trying to express whatever the creator is. And once I let go of the attachment, it became much less painful, but just as strong. So I kept painting. And I started to think as I was painting, who knows which activity your soul is choosing for its mission? We are human, and especially in our culture, we think, does it make money? Is it influencing other people? Do we get approval by doing it? Is it impressive? Is it prestigious? Does it give us power, wealth, and status? Does it keep a legacy alive? These things are all the monkey. Who cares, right? I mean, monkeys are obsessed with status and possessions and getting the right food and grapes and whatever. Speaking of food, though, another thing that my attention was drawn to was Rose sent me and Karen a link to a movie about eating sustainably for the body, eating sustainably for the planet. It's really good. It's called The Magic Pill. And it's very interesting. There's a lot of research to support it. It will change the way you think about food forever. That particular issue is also really up for me. And I think it's up for a lot of us. Like, what if you just feel compelled to start cooking in a really interesting way, or in a really healthy way, or in a really ethical way, or whatever? If we change our eating practices so that we were doing it sustainably for our bodies and for the planet, we could clear up carbon emissions in 10 years, and we would all be way, way healthier. And I know those are huge claims to make, but I've read numbers of books. It's not just this one movie, but there's a ton of research right now that shows if we just change that, because we all eat, and the way we produce food is really shaping the way the planet, what we're doing with the planet. So I thought it could be that if you get up and think, you know, today I want to make myself a really good lunch, that could be your soul saying that is your mission for now. And doing that may change your soul, may change your experience of life, may be the most amazing, mind-blowing lunch you ever had, and en masse could change the world more than anything else you could do. I just don't know anymore what constitutes mission, but I know to let go of my culture. I know to let go of, does it make money? Does it get approval? Does it give me power? Does it give a legacy? To the consciousness that creates universes, who cares how much the monkey gets, right? But what if the monkey learns to express the divine, or learns, I mean, when you make yourself a beautiful lunch, it's God preparing God, ingesting God, making life out of life. Life comes from life. Oh, people are coming up and saying that they're all over the food to save the world thing. It's a really big issue. Sometimes I talk about the team, you know, the people who are here to change everything. And one thing I've noticed about the team lately is that a lot of people, I don't know if it's a cultural trend alone or if it's actually a spiritual impulse, but the compulsion to eat better is really, really widespread now. And it feels to me like that rage to master. Like we are so wrong in the way we eat for our bodies. And what's fascinating to me is my son, who is, you know, very, very low functioning verbally. Spiritually, he's off the charts, but, you know, in terms of monkey talk, he's not very with it. But let's see, how many years ago now? Like 10 years ago, when he was in high school, they made a lot of food. They made pizza, they made cookies, they made cakes, they made cupcakes, which was wonderful and it was great. But it's a lot of the kinds of food that make people fat. So he was very round. And he decided to say, no to foods that felt wrong to him. And he decided, he would announce, I'm not eating this anymore. I'm not eating pizza anymore. Never touch pizza again. I'm not eating anything with sugar in it. Never touched sugar again, except in berries, really. I'm not going to eat any white starchy food. I don't even know where he was getting this. And then he became a real wine connoisseur. And I thought, what? And then I did all this research on wine, and it turns out that 1 glass of red wine a night, not 10 glasses, but it's so good for you that if it weren't for the risk of being an alcoholic, they would probably give it to us as medicine. I mean, his instinct for how to eat is very, very prominent, and it's part of his mission. I'm convinced of it. And then I sort of caught on and started eating more the way he eats. I have to tell you a little story about that. This week, Adam opened a bottle of wine. That's his job. He opens the wine at wine time. We all stop working. He said, everyone has to stop working after 5. We sit down, we have a glass of wine like civilized people. So we sit down and have a glass of whatever, water. He has wine. And he opened this bottle of wine called Artemis. Artemis is another name for the goddess Diana. I wrote this book about the goddess Diana, if you don't know. And he looked, I didn't know that he knew Artemis is another name for Diana. A lot of people who are high functioning don't know that. So he opens the wine and he goes, Artemis, she's a goddess. And Rose said, yeah, she is. And he said, yeah, I used to be a god all the time when I was a little baby. It was very careful. When I was a little